it's actually hard to review this film, guys, because there's basically 2 movies inside this one film. Maybe even 3. Yes, it's that disjointed. Now, some people will say, well, that's great. You're getting 2 for the price of 1. Why are you complaining? No. Just no. Don't be so ignorant, okay? When there's a problem, there's actually a problem, and there's a problem here. That's a lot of problems. I still don't know what I'm going to give this film out of 10 yet. Hopefully by the end of this, I'll find out and I won't be struck off of YouTube by a fan petition saying, get this guy off of it. I'm not that important, guys. I know I'm not. The weird thing is, there wasn't a lot of structure to this film, and with someone like David Ayer at the helm of this project, head of creative, like actually pushing this thing forward, it shouldn't have been like that. Like, if this was Zack Snyder, I would accept that. But not from David Ayer, guys. There wasn't really a protagonist to the film. I guess you could say Will Smith's Deadshot was really the main character, but even that's a really, really big stretch. There wasn't a lot of character development. The editing wasn't great and it was a bit choppy. I mean, compared to Batman vs Superman, this was like a masterpiece editing-wise, so we can't complain. It's a big improvement from that. The directing was fine, the writing was okay, it could have been better, but you could say that with every film, but the writing could have been a lot better in this film. But apparently David Ayer only had 6 weeks to write the script. Okay, that's not long enough to write a good script. Some people will say, if you just have the spark and inspiration, yeah, but you need to work on it, you need to have like 50 drafts of something like that. And he clearly didn't have that. The story was a joke, it was so ridiculously flimsy, and the soundtrack, don't even get me started on the soundtrack. You know what? Go on, get me started. Come on, come on, come on. I'll educate you. The soundtrack did not fit the film. I don't care what you say. Yes, there were fine songs, but they did not mesh with the film. People will say, well, Guardians of the Galaxy, that had these weird songs in it, and somehow it worked, and it fit the story, and everything worked out. You just said it. It fit the story. It literally fit the story. I'm gonna layeth the smack down on your candy ass right now. It fit the story. It pushed the characters forward, not just Peter Quill, but it pushed the entire team forward, and it was almost a character in itself in Guardians. The music in this film had nothing to do with the characters at all. As in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when they make it, it's gonna make complete sense because it's gonna be like, it's the second mixtape. That makes sense, it's a driving force for the film. I guess the third one's gonna be a bit weird though, when there's no mixtape. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Maybe they're gonna like find a CD or something. I don't know. And the Joker is literally in this film for maybe 8 or 9 minutes, and Jared Leto isn't actually that happy about it. I can almost feel the anger through those words. That's how angry he seems about it. Batman's in the film for maybe 3 minutes, and The Flash, well, I guess cameo is actually the perfect word to use for it, because it was nothing more than that. The pacing of this film was honestly so bad. I've never experienced a film, off the top of my head, in the last 12 hours since I've seen the film, that has been that badly paced. Honestly, you were out of the first 2 acts within 35 minutes and just expected to just enjoy this collage of music videos and excessive action and ridiculous loose plot. On the topic of the pacing of the film was 2 hours. It felt like 3 hours. At the same time, it felt too short. That is literally the worst combination ever. There was something missing from the film to make it feel complete. I don't know what it was. The writing wasn't there, maybe. The costume designs were actually really, really great. They were great. They actually were. Killer Croc's costume, I'm glad they went prosthetics. It looked actually really good, I'm not gonna lie. I sort of was like, this is actually pretty cool right now. This is really cool right now. The CGI, unfortunately, was a bit off on a lot of occasions. I'm not gonna spoil it. The CGI was really, really bad in some places, and I was like, this is like a $200 million film. Why is the CGI this bad? My favourite part of the film and my favourite character of the film was definitely Diablo. They gave him a compelling backstory, they gave him good motivations, and he was the only well-rounded character out of the entire team. And I mean, if more characters had been as well-rounded and they'd given the time to give them a compelling story, this film would have been better. You could have added 10 more minutes to give better backstory to most of the characters, and you would have had more connection to them, because he's the only one in that entire film that I felt I had a connection to. I don't know about you guys, I don't know what other people thought, but for me, he was the guy. To do with the backstories and stuff, I could say that for Deadshot, maybe Rick Flag, flimsily, Harley Quinn as well, but apart from that, none of the others really had any backstory or motivations at all. I mean, their motivation was not dying, like Amanda Waller knocking them off. I suppose that's their motivation. That's a pretty big motivation, to be honest. It just wasn't explored properly though. Like, See, I don't want to spoil. Go 15 seconds ahead if you don't want to hear a spoiler. Basically, Slipknot does die. I predicted this in my trailer review. I said he's the first one who's going to get knocked off by Amanda. He gets killed. He gets knocked out. But you didn't feel that because he had no backstory. He was in the film for like one scene before he got killed. That was it. There was nothing there to be like, oh shit, he's dead. It was just an idiot move, and that was about it. I actually like Jai Courtney as Boomerang, which is huge. I don't like Jai Courtney that much. But Deadshot's kid, Will Smith's kid in this film, was freaking awful. She can deliver one line. I know she's a kid, guys, but come on, there are some pretty decent child actors out there. Amanda Waller was a complete savage. She gave no shits at all in this film, and I got that vibe off of her. She was completely cold, concise, and collected. Is that a song? I don't know if it's a song. Some people thought before the film was going to come out that this was going to be the Will Smith show, and it definitely wasn't that. But on watching it, maybe it would have been better if it had been the Will Smith show and he had been driving the film 100% and there was no debate that he was actually the protagonist. You know, I think it would have been better. Like, you look at, again, Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill is definitely the protagonist in this team of rebels. The thing is, I didn't get that off Deadshot because I sort of felt that off of Diablo come the third act of the film, really, and off Rick Flag. So it was like, who is the real protagonist here? Who's the guy? I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Katana basically wasn't established at all in this film. And there was a very weak villain overall in the Enchantress and that whole shebang. But something they did that was actually good, 100% good. It was different and they've done something very clever here and I like it. I sort of don't like it because they did it to a character I really liked and to another character. But they basically killed off the really, really powerful characters and the ones that could actually be major threats in this universe. That way, when Flash, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman actually come to play and be part of this universe properly, they're actually deemed as gods, and the god level power market isn't saturated by super powerful villain characters as well. I don't know, I think having a strong villain is different from having a powerful villain. Someone like the Red Skull isn't like a super, super powerful villain, but he's a very strong villain. Get it? I think. Yeah? I'm not just going to sit here and say this was the worst film I've ever seen in my life. This was far better than Batman v Superman. I don't think I will ever see Batman v Superman again in my life. That's how much I didn't enjoy the film. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. See, you can say, well, the film in cinemas wasn't the film. There's the extended cut, the extended R-rated cut, the director's cut. I don't care. The film in cinemas is the film. That is it. 90% of the audience will see the film that's in cinemas. That's it. I didn't like the film. I'm not gonna go spend more money on a film I didn't like. That's just stupid. I mean, you look at me, you think stupid. But not that stupid, guys. Come on. Suicide Squad was fun in parts, no doubt about it. There was some comedy shoehorned in there. The question is, was it worth seeing in cinema? And for me, would I recommend someone to spend their money to go and see the film? No, I wouldn't. So in that case, this film doesn't get a 6 out of 10 because that's what I give a film that I would say you need to go see in cinemas. I would give this film a flat 5.5 out of 10. That's 1 point higher than Batman v Superman. That's the exact same score that I gave to Man of Steel. So I guess they have a lot to improve in this whole franchise that they're trying to do. You know, hopefully The Rock can save this. I think that's exactly what they need. People are saying maybe the Shazam film is part of the New Line movies and not part of the DCEU. They're gonna make it part of the DCEU. He needs to come and rectify this and save it for everybody. So good luck, Mr. Rock. Just remember to stay after the credits because people leave like a quarter of a bag of popcorn. They just didn't bother eating it, so you can just have a nice munch. Also, there is a cool little post-credit scene a la Iron Man, so do check it out. It was pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. It really set up Justice League, basically. Avengers, oh yeah, set up Justice League, yeah. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down here. If you didn't, the Joker himself is gonna come after you, and he is very angry about the cutting of this film. So you do not want an angry Joker to come after you, so just subscribe anyway. Now, I've been NarendraTheComic, you have been great, and I'll see you next time. Skadoosh.